Once upon a time, there were three brothers named Samuel, Timothy, and Xander who lived in a cottage by the woods. They were honest and hardworking. Every day they would venture into the forest to fell wood. Later, they would sell it in the market where it would fetch a decent price. Thus, their life continued in this manner. However, the brothers were always sad and morose. Even though they lived a good life, they were unhappy. Each one hankered for something or the other and would pine for it. One day, while Samuel, Timothy, and Xander were returning home from the woods carrying their bundle of logs, they saw an old, haggard woman bent low with a sack on her back. As they were kind and compassionate, the brothers immediately approached the poor woman and offered to carry the sack all the way to her home. She smiled and expressed her gratefulness, while replying that the sack actually contained apples that she had collected in the forest. Samuel, Timothy, and Xander took turns in carrying the sack, and at last, when they reached the woman's home, they were very tired indeed. Now, this old woman was no ordinary person and had magical powers. Pleased with the brothers' kind and selfless nature, she asked them whether there was anything she could help them with as a reward. "We are not happy, and that has become our greatest cause of concern," replied Samuel. The woman asked what would make them happy. Each brother spoke of a different thing that would please him. "A splendid mansion with plenty of servants would make me happy. There is nothing more that I would want," said Samuel. "A big farm with lots of harvest would make me happy. Then I could be rich without having to worry," said Timothy. "A beautiful wife would make me happy. Every day after returning home, her sweet little face would light me up and make me forget my sorrows," said Xander. "That is fine," said the old woman. "If these things will give you happiness, you deserve them in every respect for helping a poor, helpless person like me. Go home, and each of you shall find exactly what you have wished for." This took the brothers by surprise, as they did not know about the woman's powers. Nevertheless, they took leave and returned home. But lo behold, beside their cottage, there was a huge mansion with a doorman and other servants waiting outside. They greeted Samuel and ushered him in. At some distance, a yellow farmland showed itself. A plowman came and announced that it belonged to Timothy. Timothy gasped. Just at that moment, a beautiful maiden approached Xander and coyly said that she was his wife. The brothers were beside themselves with joy at this new turn of events. They thanked their lucky stars and adapted to their new lifestyles. The days passed, and soon a year was over. The situation was, however, now different for Sam.
Everyone has their own strengths and
A small Italian town, hundreds of years ago, a small business owner owed a large sum of money to a loan shark. The loan shark was a very old, unattractive-looking guy that just so happened to fancy the business owner's daughter. He decided to offer the businessman a deal that would completely wipe out the debt he owed him. However, the catch was that we would only wipe out the debt if he could marry the businessman's daughter. Needless to say, this proposal was met with a look of disgust. The loan shark said that he would place 2 pebbles into a bag, one white and one black. The daughter would then have to reach into the bag and pick out a pebble. If it was black, the debt would be wiped, but the loan shark would then marry her. If it was white, the debt would also be wiped, but the daughter wouldn't have to marry the loan shark. Standing on a pebble-strewn path in the businessman's garden, the loan shark bent over and picked up 2 pebbles. Whilst he was picking them up, the daughter noticed that he'd picked up 2 black pebbles and placed them both into the bag. He then asked the daughter to reach into the bag and pick one. The daughter naturally had 3 choices as to what she could have done. Refuse to pick a pebble from the bag, take both pebbles out of the bag and expose the loan shark for cheating. Pick a pebble from the bag fully well knowing it was black and sacrifice herself for her father's freedom. She drew out a pebble from the bag and before looking at it, accidentally dropped it into the midst of the other pebbles. She said to the loan shark, "Oh, how clumsy of me. Never mind, if you look into the bag for the one that is left, you will be able to tell which pebble I picked." The pebble left in the bag is obviously black, and seeing as the loan shark didn't want to be exposed, he had to play along as if the pebble the daughter dropped was white and clear her father's debt. Morale: it's always possible to overcome a tough situation through out-of-the-box thinking and not give in to the only options you think you have to pick from. In a peaceful village surrounded by vast green fields, a curious 13-year-old boy named Arun was often troubled by indecision. He was unsure how to make the best choices in life and worried about choosing the wrong path. One day, Arun heard about an old woman named Tara who lived by an ancient tree at the edge of the village. Known for her wisdom, people said she could answer even the most difficult questions. Determined, Arun set off to meet her. When he arrived, he found Tara sitting under the great tree, weaving a basket. "Grandmother Tara," Aaron began, bowing respectfully, "how do I know which path to take in life? How do I choose the right way?" Tara paused her work and smiled. "A good question, young one. To answer, I'll give you a task." She reached into her bag and handed Aaron 3 seeds. One small, one medium, and one large. "Plant these seeds in the field," she instructed. "Choose only one to care for. After a month, bring me the fruit of your efforts." Aaron thanked her and rushed home, excited about the challenge. He planted all 3 seeds in his backyard. At first, he decided to care for the largest seed. "Surely the biggest seed will grow into the strongest plant," he thought. For a week, he watered and tended it, but its sprout was frail, struggling to survive. Disappointed, Aaron turned to the medium seed. "This one will be easier," he reasoned. He began caring for it, but the plant demanded more attention than he expected. It grew slowly, and its leaves often wilted despite his efforts. Frustrated, Aaron finally turned to the smallest seed. "This tiny seed won't amount to much," he muttered, but he watered it anyway. To his surprise, the small seed sprouted quickly and grew into a healthy plant. Its vibrant green leaves and delicate buds brought him joy, and he found himself looking forward to tending it each day. By the end of the month, the small plant bore golden flowers that glistened in the sunlight. Aaron carefully picked a few and returned to Tara, holding them with pride. "Grandmother Tara," Aaron said, "I thought the biggest seed would be the best, but it was weak. I thought the medium one would be easier, but it wasn't. It was the smallest seed that grew strong because I gave it my time and care. Tara's eyes twinkled as she listened. And what have you learned, young one? Aaron hesitated, then smiled. The best path in life isn't always the most obvious or easiest. It's the one we choose to nurture with patience and effort. Aaron left with the golden flowers and a golden lesson in his heart. From that day forward, he faced life's decisions with confidence, knowing that success and happiness depended on his commitment and effort.